Hello, everyone. Sorry, and yeah, now welcome to my live, Twitch streaming live. And I'm kind of today, uh, I'm, yeah, I'm very excited to do the first live programming video, which I am a front-end engineer. So I just want to do, back end, and I don't care about the what exactly uh, exactly about uh, what I'm exactly about the back end or front end. I'm good with all. I'm good with programming, so I just want to see how can I progress this and help other people to have the uh, ability to see how can I uh, help others to work on the program. I mean, coding and UI. I'm more of a UI guy, not than the backend, because I'm just love the way the once you create something, it shows on the screen with the beautiful colors and all. That's something which I really like. So in this today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding a couple of things in this. I'm going to create Tailwind components for using React and CSS. Sorry, Tailwind CSS and React. Using those, we are going to create a React components, and we will going to publish that into my GitHub so that later you can have access on that. And let's do that for quickly. And I just using this as a public, and I'm going to say React. And I just want to see how can I learn. I mean, it's not just a tutorial, it's something which I want to learn as well. I never did anything using the Tailwind CSS and as well as the styled components, which is a pretty cool way to create a component, I see. So let's do that. So I'm going to say React Tailwind components. And I just want to check whether my mic is working. So just give me one sec. Working on Windows and Mac. That's C Windows. Okay. Description. Yeah. Fail components. Okay. So, and I don't want to add any README file. We'll add that later, but I just want to add something like, I don't see anything. But yeah, I think, don't worry about it. I just want to say create repository. Yeah, this is cool. So I have a directory now. So I'm just gonna go here and copy that. So I'm going to clone that first thing, right? So what we're gonna do is go to terminal. So I have a Windows terminal, so I'm just gonna use that, and I am already in my workspace. So I just go and say git clone and paste. So yes, it has a permission denied. Why? Make sure the repository exists. But is there? What do you mean by that? Okay, let's try this. Uh, or else, yeah, this is what it is, right? So I'm just going to go here. Where is that? Oh no. And what did I do? Git clone, git add. That's what I did, right? Could not read the repository. What happened? We can follow the same instruction, creating a repository or push existing code to the repo. So let's go and do that and stuff, making a literally. So I'm going to do one quick thing in this. So we will be using one of the thing, we're going to generate the UI React package. I'm going to use white, not the general CRA, I mean uh, React toolkit. I would say npm init white latest. I will say, yeah, project name it as, so you can give any project names. In this case, React Tailwind components. So I would say, yeah, it's going to be React, and I'm going to use normal JavaScript. I don't want to use TypeScript at the moment, so let's figure that out later. So inside, I'm going to say React Tailwind components here, and here I'm going to do is I'm going to add copy, and I go to paste. What happened? Copy and get repository add. Okay. Open it. So clear. Yes. So I'm going to open this in the code. Yeah, Visual Studio Code. This is how Visual Studio Code, and I have all this already planned. I'm just going to say here npm install, and this is going to install my components. It's going that npm install will install my dependencies for the, I guess that's cool. So I have dependencies here, so I'm going to say npm, sorry, npm dev, I guess. Yeah, it is npm dev. So let's go and do that, and it will open the, yeah, that's cool, right? So now I have React up and running. So let's try to put this in the, I don't know why is it not working. Let's go and try to get the GitHub here. Sure, I created that as public. I'm not sure why is it making so much. Yeah, now it does. So now I'm going to say main branch, and this is going to push you ls here, and git add this warning, seller of git ignore will be replaced, will be original line endings working directory. What do you mean by that? Okay, let's check what exactly that is. I just want to see. I don't see, this is how what I'm talking about. I'm just going to learn things and move forward. So maybe that's something which I want to do. Let's try that. Perfect. paste and git add. Yeah, that's git status, and it's all added in the git commit sage initial commit. So this will be my initial commit. Commit. Yeah, cool, right? So now I'm going to put this, and yeah, last time you use this, later you no need to, right? So permission denied, public correct access right. Make sure your repository has a correct access right. What do you mean by that? Somehow I don't have permissions. It's my system and I don't have permissions to make sure you have access right and repository exist. Let's go and do that. But this is going to be bad experience for you guys. I'm really sorry. And remote set URL and remote set URL. So I'm going to do that. Let's see how that works for us. All right. So yep, it worked. So yeah, and go here and do that. Yeah, you see that. So next time it will be easier. So just copy that, right? And you can directly open with the visual style. And you know one of the cool trick in this. So you just put you just press start, and it opens in the editor. So this is the coolest way to from the Microsoft to give you guys you can directly edit the stuff in the Git, something cooler. So you can do that, and you can go back to repositories. So yeah, and now I have all this. Let's go back to my Visual Studio Code. Right, so here I want to configure first thing is Tailwind CSS in this. So let's go do that, and I will be. I think I do have little open here, so you can go to get started, and this is where the installation works. In the installation, I don't want to choose any of this because I'm not, you know that I have a couple of things like I don't want to use that because any of them are not the white. We are using white, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the copy and do the custom installing the post as opposed to via install via npm. So we're going to follow the same structure. So yeah, so I'm going to, after that I'm going to create a file called post css.config.this, right? So in that, just gonna paste this. See, C and Control V, and I'm going to increase one more thing in this. Settings and text editor. I just want to increase the font size here, so look, it's very small. So that yeah, and it's 14. I would say 18. Yeah, that looks good. So let's do that. So now I have this. I go back and I will be doing that. copy and come paste this. So yeah, you created this tailwind.css and later you go and create one other thing called styles.js because we are going to use or else you can do this, but we are going to do that. And here we're going to say new folder, and I would say styles. Inside the styles, I'm going to say main.css. Here I'm just going to paste, sorry, I copied the wrong one. Go here and go paste it, save, have files now. So now I go here and just know the same thing I will add this. So I'm going to do this purge, paste, save, and next thing I want to do is any time you run, you will be running this tailwind.css, so using CLI. So okay, and till this time we are good, and now we want to see how can I build this. And post CSS will compile the compile CSS and use that, and webpack yourself running webpack. Building a CSS is a builder is a dependency in your framework, including the counter and the CSS will be in the background with a webpack. You webpack yourself, and maybe you're using post CLI running CSS like this. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, I think we have to do is let's see white.js, and sorry, I am kind of open a lot of things here. I'm just gonna go here and say white.js with post CSS, yeah, configuration. So because this is completely different than what we're going to do, so you can see that there is a configuration like that. So you want to use, so we're gonna do, you're going somewhere, post CSS and post already supported by. So if your project contains valid post CSS on it, any format supported to post example automatically apply to the import CSS. See, so you don't need to worry about that. So go here and say same thing. I just want dev here. Just gonna change to start, save, and now say start here. Let's go here. Yeah, it still looks neat, but I want to change a couple of things in that. So I'll just go here and say I have components and a lot of things are here, but I don't think those will work for us because yeah, so we need to work on a couple of how can we enable the things for the, I mean it's most likely a CSS and classes, but in this case we have to create components, right? So first thing I want to see is how can we keep the colors and the stuff. So let's go and do one thing here. What we're going to do is how can we add the container. So you can see that this is how you do it. So you can have the class, and the class name will be whatever the class you want to call it. So that's how your container will be, container and the class will contain. So and the display, and even the display contains in a different way. So you can just, you see it. So all the class names you need to use. And now I want to create a button, right? So let's go and create a button. So I want colors and all stuff. So one cool thing you can do is get the Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. Does something helps you? Let me write back. back. Uh, so what I'm going to do is now here, yeah, so yeah, we are checking the nice about the we are checking the intelligence for the Tailwind CSS. So that something is there. And now what I'm going to do is we will be doing okay, we will be creating a we will be changing the buttons class. So here we have button, so we're going to say class name equals to, so here you will have something like this. So in this case I would say bg and the color what you want to put in there. So you can say yeah, purple 500, text, actually color, no, text color, don't think that's the one. And just a second, spacing max, typography, font size, font styling, you can see all that here in top where we are in unique. So text color, so it will be like a text. Okay, text hyphen white, right? So in that same way, h over, you will write a h over, and I would say bg purple, sorry, say 400, because I just want to lighter if there is a, and I don't want to make any quick changes, so I'm just gonna save this. I go back here, and where is my server is running? Oh, that was 3000, and it didn't make any change. Okay, that's the one which I tried to. Okay, I thought that's going to work, but it didn't. Something is not working. Let's figure it out. Maybe I can have to rewrite something, restart, maybe that helps. Nope. Okay, just a second. Actually, just take these, close this, don't save, and put it in the index.css, which is basically we are going to use. Oh, sorry. Right, let's try that will work or not. Yeah, see, I think that's the problem. Sorry about that. And you need a padding on this, so I just going to say padding p hyphen p stand for padding in this case, so I'm going to say 10, and I go back here, you see that, say 2, and you can see the count, and everything is works pretty cool, right? And you want margin or something like that also you can give, and this will be like this, and you have margin there, and each so yeah, so that's a button, right? And that's that's a button you want to see. So let's do one quick thing. Let's commit this and saying updater Tailwind CSS configuration, right? So this is the configuration which we have. So I'm just gonna post and see the changes. Okay. So now I have another comment. Now we're going to delete all this. Just going to delete all this. And now I'm going to change this to 2. I don't want set count or anything. Okay. Save. Now I go here and not require these. So save. But I always hitting on Windows says. So sorry about that. So it's like I work in the Mac and I work in the Windows. Sometimes these things happens. Okay. So what I want to do is now is just a second. Okay. But now what we're gonna do is here, and what I would be doing is I would be doing creating a buttons. Let's see how can I so actually components. Let's start it with the components. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to start creating a buttons, and in this case we're going to just exploring the container and creating a multiple components and stuff. So let's dig into that, and meanwhile just give me one sec. Mhm. Now what I was thinking about is I want to do a couple of things, like I need to create a separate component for the container. So let's say I'm going to say class name is equals to first thing I want to create here is container to show the things in the in a such a good manner. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna go ahead and do the check the configuration for the container. So this is the layouting. So I'm going to do is I'm going to say container, and let's say mx auto, and that will define this is mx auto. This is center of the container, use the auto, and I would say pixel utilities horizontal padding, so px it's so I'm going to say 4. Same way this guy is doing it. So here now what we're going to do is I'm going to add a background color BG, and I'm going to add a slightly gray, I would say, and save. And now I go here and start, and here white app, and I think it has body. This will be root, and this will be my container, right? Hope so. And now what I'm going to do is there is an after container. I think we can just use something like actually we're going to use actually I want to use a button. Let's say I'm going to create a components, so let's go here and say components, enter, and in this I would say button, and in this button I'm going to create button component. JS, and here, and then I'm going to create another one as start. So in this button I'm going to say see, I just want a component like this, and here I'm gonna say button, right? So yeah, and not just that, I'm going to use like this. So this will help me to get the label and type and variant kind of style. So these are the ones which you can get. So in this case I'm going to add a label here, or else you can do one more thing in this is children also, because you want to, if the label is not available, let's say children. So in this case you can put this as question mark. I don't think that's, yeah. So if it's not available, I mean it's TypeScript, you can easily find that and use it. So in this case you are not going to, that's okay, totally fine. And now I'm going to say class name, and I just want to say type is type, right? And the variant, I just there is a color in the other things, but I just don't want to do all that at the moment. So let's, based on the variant, I want to change the color, but think about it. So I'm just not going to do that at the moment, so I just want to save it. Later we will figure out how to do that. Now I want button background gray, sorry, background gray. I'm really sorry about that comment. Okay. BG, and I would say blue. Yeah, this will be my primary button. So I'm gonna say text is white, and padding is px4, not for 2, and p is 2 as well. And now whenever I focus, whenever I hitch over, I want to change that to bg hyphen blue into 300, and as well as yeah, actually make it 400, so that I don't want to change the text at the moment. So now we are good, and now save this, and here I go here and I type export from dot button, and here I'm gonna say this is my default as okay. Oh, sorry. So now good thing to do that also. Just yeah. Now actually let's put it in this side and put this one in this side. So now you can see, and now I save this and I go here and I write okay, so okay, when I click here, drop it, so don't do that. Now I have this, so here I'm going to use button. So when you do that, it automatically comes like this. So that's cool. So, and not just that, I just want to do one more thing here is index.js export button. So you don't need to do that. Sorry. Yeah. So you can see this is still the button, and this button you can add label. So this is button, and type you can say just gonna say this will be, I just don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna say, and this one is giving you an error because there is something wrong in this particular failed to parse the import analysis because it doesn't have a JSX or TSX extension. So maybe that's the reason. So here, if you want this, so you can just go here and change this to JSX parts. So that way you can see that. So now you can see the button is there, and that's cool, right? So you can see there is a button now. So this, so I do have a couple of things in this, and I just don't want to have some kind of I mean it's going here and there, and I don't feel like the formatting and all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say npm prettier install say prettier. So this will help me to manage all the always, and not just that, uh, not just that, what we're going to do is we're going to save the format save. So let's go and do that. The format, so on save formats, yeah, it's on. I don't know why it's not doing that. Maybe it's because of the prettier is not finding any configuration here. So I'm going to do is prettier rc, or else prettier dot on dot this. Okay, so in this module dot exports, here you will have, in this you will have tab width 120, tab width is 2, and I would say go for fine for a basic prettier. So yeah, so you can see, simple. Now come here and paste this here. Yeah, actually change this to rc and you put dot here. So that sounds fair. So this way you will get this. And single quote is false. I don't like single quotes at all. And I know that's how a lot of people like it, but whenever it's string, I always believe it's two quotes. And I know it's a backend versus front, and there's a lot of conversations behind it. And I like the tab width to be two, so that's one thing. And I want something like some expectations are in related to, I want the line length also. So let's go figure out how much line length you will have here. Install, ignore, CLI, API, configuration file, prettier, options. Yeah, there is options. Yeah. So tabs, tab width, semicolons, quotes, quotes prop, JS quotes, trailing commas, bracket spacing, bracket line, duplicate here. It's add a function, range, parse, file path, set, force, end of the line. All of that there. So yeah, Google is your friend. Prettier line length. Yeah, options. It came here again. Line. Yeah, print width. This one. I go back here and say, I mean, they should give you. Oh, it is giving. So print width. Yeah, that's all I need. So when you do this and format with prettier, and it should take care of it. Okay. So next time, so yeah, in this case, you got what you need, and here is something which I want to do is I don't want to create this document, this container, MX audio. I just go up here, save. Let's go here. So now you're kind of seeing that, and you can delete that too in your case if you don't want to. Oh, not running. It's not. It's kind of cornered, so I think MD words. What is the height management in the, so I just want container to be look cooler, but I don't think that's kind of not happening. So you can say MD, this is 756, so you can just go for different ways of doing that. Should, if you don't give anything, it should be with 100%. So why aren't it's not happening then? Should be 100%, yes, but there is something for the root, I guess. No, there's something going on here, and it does have some padding, which is not sure why is it causing. let's figure that out later. Now I just need to create this button, right? So I have created the button now. Now I have this button, and now I want to make this button actionable. So I'm going to say on click, right? So you can go for it and say on click equals to on click. So save that, and now I go here and say in this I'm gonna go for const like equals to, go here and say alert you click button, and then I come here and say on click and on button click. So you're binding that with a button. So I just go here, I click on this, and you see alert. I click on this, and you'll see what I click on this. You'll see alert. Yeah. Now, so there are minus, yeah, stupid. So format with prettier. It's not at all doing that. I don't know why. So let's format on size. Files autosave, no. Format must be saved after delay. There are a bunch of it. For the default language features and default format is none, and format on save mode. Why is doing that? Maybe something else. Anybody has an idea why is it not doing that? But that's okay. We'll figure that out later. So now, where are we? So I created button. Now I want to do this with the style sheets. So I think, sorry, I want to do this with styled components. So there is a something called one of the npm module which has npm. So in this there is a package called Tailwind styled components. So this is the one which you already have, and you can just use, you see that you can create a div out of bunch of things here. So reusable, extendable, whatever the components are. So we're gonna use the same thing, and we're gonna work it out. So that this helps us to configure. I'll be right back, guys. I'm back. I'm really sorry about that. So what are we gonna do? And we're going to use this. And first thing, just go copy that and go back to your Visual Studio Code, this and paste it. Yeah. So install that. This will enable us to use the components, right? So now I go here in this button. So I'm going to use something like this. So if you're familiar with how these guys are doing, just go and copy this and paste. Sorry. So import tw from tailwind.components. And here, what we need to do is, instead of creating the button, what do we do? Tw button equals to tw dot but. So here you do that. Here, what do we do? Going to delete that and return button component. So this way you'll have the button, and if you go in npm start, you'll see the button but without any changes. I would say I'm not sure how that looks at the moment, so but you have a ton of errors here because error occur, object valid keys and render inventory use instead of array. Let's see uh, how that will work. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here and see what are the things which we can do, right? So this is what it says, right? Container. And one more thing I want to do is that I want to add the settings so that you will be in a better place of seeing the IntelliSense. And you need this particular component IntelliSense, and we already installed it in you if you remember. So I'm just going to go here and say settings, and this in the workspace. I'm just going to say this and save. So in my workspace, I see that. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of things like delete this. I do have a couple of button, and I'm gonna say okay, now I have a button component. And if you go here inside this, and I don't think you will have a label or anything, and you will use it as a simple how you use for as a HTML component. That's how it looks like. So I would say this is button, right? Okay, save. Now I go back to the viewport, and you will see the button here, and the button will execute, and just clear that and refresh it. Yeah, see, no errors. And now we don't know what is causing that, so let's go here and use button. Sorry, I would say pg. We need blue, right? Same thing, blue. 600 and text, text center and text, white text. So now h over and background bg, bg white, and border border 2, I guess, and I just want to see how this looks. Let's save this thing. And yeah, at the moment it shows background white, right? So that's good. And I want border to be there, so I don't know how I can cover the same way. And border switch over in the border color. I don't know. Border blue 600. This one will have here px2 and p2 and m2. Save. So now I have a button here. So you see that that's a button in, but yeah, it's over. I'm not sure why is it not doing that. And I like text color text blue 600. So that's something. So yeah, so I think picture. So you see, and that's coming, but I don't see the border though. Border. Border. I think you have everything like a border related stuff, border opacity, border. What will be the border? Okay, let's check that. Instead of banging your head, just go and check it. uh, yeah, border width, and this will be your border width. Zero. What else? You'll have this too, and now you no need to worry about the color also, right? So you can just keep it as is. See, now if I go here in the boot, so you'll still have that, and you need a corners border corner to opacity style width ring width. What do you mean by that? Ring 0. Radius, right? So it'll be like, see that, MD. So that's what I need, rounded MD. So I'm gonna go here and say rounded. Now I come back here and you see rounded button. And in the same case, you want to conditionally operate this. So that's something which I require, because we know that these all are variants which is related to the based on the variant. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna access the props. So if you go here and you see there is a props also you can access, so you can just see that. So you can see how we can do that. So this is something which we can always count on. So we can have the button props, and you can ask the primary, and you can say $primary or something like that, right? So in this case, what we're going to do, we're going to achieve the same thing what this guy is doing it. So what are we going to do? We're going to go here and say this is primary, right? So this is the primary button. So what I'm going to do in this condition, I'm gonna have dollar what exactly that? Yeah, so it says dollar and p equals to, so what is that? P dot whatever the things you want to talk. So I just want to say our primary equals to primary, it's primary, and then we would say this. And we're gonna have also this and this, and yeah, obviously. So if it's not primary, we're gonna have the default one. The default one will be bg gray, gray 600, and we'll follow the same, and we will be using the same. In this case, bg white will not be the same. We will be using, yeah, bg white, and this will be gray 50. Sorry, is it gray or gray? It's a sorry, gray. Oh, yeah, text gry. That's stupid. Okay. In this case, background white and say, actually, yeah. So this, the why that is giving an error because you no need to do that, right? So you can just always, white is your background, you can just put it here. It's a common component. So and in this case, you're gonna delete that too. Okay, save now. No, I just say here. Now I go here and you see this is the default button, right? So this is going to be text gray and all, and border is okay. This is something which you need to worry about, right? So let's go and do that. And here, and border is blue, and this one's gray. Right. This property applies the same. Because this here. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Plays out. Yeah, you see that. And one more thing I want to do is text color is gray, but I don't know why is it showing different color altogether. Sure, gray. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool, but text white is something you will like here, and text gray. I want to show text white. Yeah. So background is blue. I need white. The background is white. Obviously there is a background is same as the, I just go here. This is the culprit, so I'm just gonna do that, and you see white color completely. That's not good. So in this case, primary, if it's not primary, let's say background is, yeah, gray, and your and yeah, that looks nice, right? And I don't want that big and big and big. So let's say that you have button which is normal size, and if you want to change the font size also, you can do that. Font size which is, font size, size. So in this case we'll be doing like X large, yeah. So in this case my text size will be, now my text, not XS, maybe SM. So that's something which I want. Yeah, now the button is a little smaller and looks neater. Awesome. So now I go here and copy this, paste it here, and now this, no, this is the same, and this will, I will call default button, and this I will call primary, and I can say primary. Okay, so that way you'll see this button and this button, both buttons are there. It's awesome, right? And in the same case, we want to have something like uh, uh, obviously this, in this condition you will have a ton of things. I just don't want to make a different way of doing. I know this is something which we want to do, but we want to do in the something like const. I would want to do is switch, sorry, I want to do something like a switch case, get style, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and say props, right? So in this case, this shouldn't be true or false values, or else I can say this is a type variant. So, right, so switch is variant. In this case, I'm going to say return, sorry, default. Say I will just go here, copy this, paste this here. Say a variant. Sorry. Is primary, and and in this case, what we're going to do, return this. Here I will change this to gets style dot variant. In this case, save, and both becomes gray. So here we go and say variant. So yeah, so now you got it. So now I want to do one thing in this is I want to introduce the props. So how the props can look like. So for example, button dot prop types equals to variants. In this case, I'm going to have primary, secondary, and what do you call that? Success, danger, and warning. And what do you call that? Success, danger, warning. That's all right. Error and warning and success. Yeah, 3. So now I have 3 different set of things. So we'll just go and do quickly. Copy and paste. And I'll go with this. Secondary, this is secondary, and there is one more thing called success. In this case, success, danger, and another one is warning. Now good. And you can so in this case default is button, and also you can say export button const button variants, and you can ask JavaScript script, how that looks like. So let's see how we can do that. Case summer, winter, season. So you can do this, right? So in this case, what I'm gonna do is if you do this in TypeScript, this life would have been very easier. That's the trick. But I somehow decided not to do that in the TypeScript, so that I mean, we can have more. I mean, you can see how the things will be done in a different fashion. Really sorry about that. Yeah. Keep on pressing window key. I don't know why. Range and the water. Yeah, another one is info, but I don't see. You can add that info, right? Save. Now I have this, and in this case, you go here in index, and you also have is export button. And star. So good. Now I have something in here. Now I go here and I make changes. Another one. Copy. Warning. Success. So, warning, and last one is danger. Right. So I have all these three, and now I need a colors. Just go and grab the colors. Color, border color, whatever that is. Colors. Text color, random color, background color, right? We need a background color. Color, yeah. So in this, we want a couple of things. All of them are, I want all of them are in 600, but in our case, we will be using green as success, border as green, and text as green. Now I go back, and the info, we will be using blue. Yeah, but the blue color is, info is little lighter, so we're gonna go here and use little bit, sorry, 300, and the border will be 300 as well, and this will be 300 as well. So, and the warning, I need a yellow here, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you have this yellow, so Control C, and the one yellow, yellow, this will be yellow as well. And the next thing is danger, which is red. I'm going to say red here, red, and this you have red. Now save this. Now you have this. I go back to Vote app, and you have entirely up and running. I just working fine, and I go back to the app.js, and here if I say variant primary, so in this case I will ask button variants dot primary, right? Let's see, and we, so we'll go to the second one. This is secondary. Oh, I didn't change the secondary one, right? So let's do that as well. Sorry. Where is the secondary? Secondary will be purple. So secondary, and this will be success. I'm not gonna say button in each and every, so let's call that, yeah, success. And next thing is info. And warning. And later I have is Control C, be, and buttons. This will be my, what do you call that, danger, sorry, yeah, you can call danger or error, whatever you want to call it. So this will be my danger. So now you have all the buttons you want, and this looks pretty neat, right? So awesome. So I'm just gonna say this is a default, not the button. Now save. So now I have this, and we will be using all these buttons. And now what I'm going to do is, these are good, and I just want to know why this is not uh, coming like this. So I'm going to say JSX define properties. So maybe that component props, yeah. So we can see how can we extend to React properties, and we don't know that. How do we exact? Oops, don't see that. Maybe somewhere JSX and that. No. And defining the attributes. Okay, yeah, properties. Let's see. This guy has anything to say. Render component, render function. Does it? Okay. Another thing which I want to ask is JS J component. Oops. Oops, automation. Just, yeah. This is something different. No. Props. IntelliSense. Oh, okay. Should work, but I'm not sure why is it now. Oh, obviously. Check all that. In this case also you can ask is required. String and you know. Right. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna install prop. So this way you have types. So let me close this, maximize this, and go back to my code and maximize this. And here I would go into the button and I say here import types, types. So this way. I'll come here and say prop type string. So yeah, one of what? Control F. Replace that with comma. Replace here into that. So now I go and do this. Nope, it's not coming only. I'm trying to understand what can I do to get that into the working, but let's see. Style component props basic style components, right? Style section and all the stuff. Yeah, the button, tomato button, what the fuck that is? So you can see that, you can do that, right? So you can create something like this and get into that and say a size styles link, something you can do, and that's something which is cooler. And if you guys want to try that, we can do that. Let's see, right? Let's go ahead and say const component equals to button yeah, you get the point, right? So let's not waste the time on it, but yeah. And messed it up. uh Now I think I'm good. So this is how we gonna create styled apps, and I just want to do one more quick change to this, adding a storybook. So let's do that to maybe next in the next sessions we're going to extend. I mean, now that we know how to do the style components and with the Tailwind CSS. Now we next thing we're gonna do is we will be writing other components. So to complete that, I just want to, and later we will be publishing this as a component library. So right now what I want to do in this case is adding a storybook so that you can go through the different uh, components and see whether you want to I just want to publish it as a website so that people can see what are the components we have. So that's something cooler, right? So you are helping the community, so let's do that. uh, Storybook. um, so yeah, so see, we have this, so we can see pages in the storybook, and you can add whatever the things which you want to add. So you can publish that. So what we're going to do is run that in your storybook. Okay. If you don't have a white project, easy to get started with this. Okay, so let me go ahead and do, if it just take a minute to try out the white builder. If you already have white project, you can run this, right? So let's go here, go to this and paste. Let's try that. Yeah, it might take some time. It's might building something in your project, so don't worry about it. So, and I'm going to check in the VS Code settings as well, so that you guys can have whenever you are writing. I mean, you can fork this if you want to. And detecting the project type, yeah, it's awesome. So it detected it has a React app, and we'll be writing a storybook. Yeah, you have stories now. See, button button.jsx. We can see, and we'll be up and running things, and we'll be using, instead of this button, you'll use your button. So that's how it and that's how you generate story. And you will have the button stories like this, and you can see what are the button stories you want to add. And in this case, we will be writing something in our own own things. So we will be writing our own stories. So I might have this delete most of the stuff here, and I will write our own things. Now I just don't want to change anything here, so I'm just going to see how that looks. It's taking too much time. Yes. Let's see. Cool. Yep, it installed everything. Oh, it's also installing some things, and it has vulnerabilities. I, I don't like that at all. So go and fix that. So you can run npm it fix. So that will take the, otherwise you check in this code, the GitHub will send a message saying that these are all the vulnerabilities. It fixed all of the, fixed zero of, but it was required manual review. It seems could not be updated. So still not did that. So maybe some issues which is not working. Maybe so let's see if that says, we'll figure that out. And you still have this, and it's still running. I hope so, because we didn't change anything other than that. So let's go and close this, and I'll go here and see this is what it does. So in the 66, so I'm going to run npm start, sorry, npm run storybook. This will run the storybook, and see, this is the storybook you have been running. Yeah, so you have button here, and you see the button and the primary button, secondary button, small button, whatever the buttons you want, you have everything here. So you can just see in this, you can say primary true or false like this, and everything is has an actions. Whatever the actions you want to decide, you can do that here. And you can choose the background color to something else, something like that, and you see it still works beautifully. So what we're gonna do, and header, you can see there are some kind of pages and login, so log out, and it has a couple of things which we don't require because we are not going to do all that, right? So, and also we have styling, how to do all that, discard basic information, and yeah, so that's something. Let's go and do one more thing in this. uh, let's add our thing, like our dependencies, sorry, our button creation and all the things in the stories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. You can see that there is a small template which is there, and you are saying this is the button, and in this button you have a component called, it's basically you're trying to do a lot of things like this. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have but components and the button. So I have this. So when I go here, it should be showed differently, I guess. Yeah, you can see that. And in this case, I don't have args here. So in this case, I want variant equals to, yeah, variant equals to args dot variant, and in the end, I here also I would say args dot, actually, yeah, star label. Do that, save. So I go here and you see simply a button, right? And our types controller, and in this case we don't have variant primary. Variants dot, right? So it should say primary. I think there is a problem in this. So main.js should also check something like CSS in your case, which is not doing. I don't think it's doing that. So let's. Sorry. And CSS and Storybook. So maybe we can do something like Vue.js, Tailwind for CSS. So that's all we have. So Tailwind config.js. Have all that. We have index.cs, and yeah, we do have that. Using that, so it shouldn't be. You can just do the copy and go here, close this, paste, step. Go in this. Okay, and in the preview.js, okay, here, what should we do? Storybook, right? Yep, we got the buttons. Awesome. So now I have Storybook, which you can add whatever you want. So in this case, variant, the button variants, say secondary, and this will be secondary. In this case, I just don't know in the template what you see. It's there are I just want to show one button, and why you want to see multiple buttons and something like that. But one button can have something primary, secondary, right? So another one you will have the somewhere you can change the variant name to something like this. Here. So you'll see that in that you can argument types, background color, you're choosing that. Here you can have something like this. Variant variant from Storybook API types. Yeah, true. See, you can do that, right? So what you can do is type string required label types variant control type. I don't want text, I want button type is now text object edit object. Control is radio number dogs. Uh, uh, yes, that sucks. Number, this should be something, no? Right? Uh, these guys are. Hmm. Archetypes is the archetypal block. Type is radio number. This is super weird. On click side text, background color, colors, category, table, primary, table, text, events, sizes. One drop down, sizes, yes, category, sizes. How do we define? uh, so I understand that. Mm, number radio type select. Let's say what happens now. Go here and nothing has happened there. See, in the same way, more of the archetypes default exports. I don't know whether that is just a. Oh, like something like this. If you give a button, start, danger, what happens then? This is primary, right? Like that. I don't know. I want there is a drop down here so that you can just manage it. For some reason, I'm not able to get that. Text. Should be something right. TypeScript. don't see the how this works, but yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I do have this, but it's not working right. String. In this case, even though if I don't use this, okay, let's go to where exactly this is. So just in this case, control color. Let's say something like control save brackets. All right. Something a little bit there. Sorry guys, I'm wasting your time. Just want to see how should be control. Yeah, object. Sorry, object. What happens then? JSON string. This case here only you can give button. Start primary button. Or else can we do the array of something strings or something like that? That's do it this way. Nope. Hmm. Don't think nothing. I don't think this will adjustable size, but title. Essential tags. Yeah, I don't want to waste the time there and add controls. Add on controls. Text. Knobs. We have main. In this main, you have essentials. You don't have knobs. Let's try add this. Let's see how that looks. Let's figure this out. I'm trying. It's, mhm. Oh, okay. Something we did. Maybe because of this and this. Let's give that. I think, yeah. So that one. Think. I think it should be somewhere to, I don't know, some figure that out in the next session. But yeah, right now I'm out of time, so I'm going to end this chat at the moment. We will see the next Thursday. Sorry, next Wednesday. This is today's Wednesday. Yeah. So we will be seeing you. I'll be seeing you on Wednesday. Thank you very much.